Hey guys, Scott here, and I just about done diddly had it with this whole Go Next epidemic. For those who don't know, the whole Go Next epidemic is people in DBD just seemingly giving up for any particular reason, and as soon as they're hooked, they immediately kill themselves on hook, rendering the entire game ruined because it happens right at the start. I mean, it's at the point even killers are just fed up with this. Even if it's giving them a win, everyone is just BMing people that just give up on hook now, which is kind of beautiful to see. Everyone's coming together for this. But it's just become such a problem that I used to be like very, very passive about this. I always thought if there was no DC penalty, then people would just simply disconnect when they were having a bad time. At least the team would get a bot so they'd have something doing generators, right? But at this point, people are DCing against like perkless trappers, and I just fuck it. I've become cynical to this whole topic, so just burn them to the ground. I think we need to just go full nuclear option here and actually have two possible solutions here, because this is the only way I can see us actually fixing this. So obviously the ideal solution here is making it so these unfun situations that people are running into are lessened and they don't feel the need to because they're having fun in all their games. The problem is I don't even know why some people launch DBD anymore. I don't understand. They just launch the game to just disconnect. They don't even play the game anymore. Every single thing they encounter is just something that's considered unfun or miserable, and so they'll just kill themselves on hook because that's not the exact thing they wanted to go against. The problem is that's basically everything in the game for them now. So I don't know why these people even launched the game, and so these people at this point deserve to just not play the game anymore. A very long time ago, but basically like, I don't know, like basically when we had the original chess merchant, I still in those scenarios like advocated, killing yourself on hook. And that might have been the sole exception where I still would consider it acceptable today. But there's just nothing like that in the game anymore. There's no ridiculous amount of hostage holding, especially with the 3-gen changes where there's a maximum amount of kicks per gens. Just these situations just don't occur in the game anymore. And there are some unpleasant situations, don't get me wrong. There are very, very boring games where you'll have like a super sweaty knockout singularity slugging everyone and you got to bleed out for 4 minutes. Those games are miserable. But it's also 4 minutes. It's not the end of the world. It's not a huge deal that's going to ruin your entire day there. So there are unfun scenarios in the game, but I think we need to accept that there will always be some unfun scenarios in the game. You can never fully remove them. It's just straight up impossible. Stop pretending like that's ever going to happen. Let's actually address the world as it is, which is the reality of, some things are not going to be fun. And if you're unable to deal with any of them ever, then you don't deserve to play the game anymore. So the solutions are, there's two of them. One, you just simply remove the ability to just try to Kobe off hook. You just make it so you can't do that. The problem is you have to think about what people will do to circumvent that. If that's the case, people will get rescued and just do nothing. They'll just stand there and refuse to play the game. And for that to work, we would need it to be punishable to go AFK or do nothing and not play the game. The problem is it's really hard to prove that because someone could hide from the team. Unless you have bond and you can specifically see them doing this, it's genuinely difficult to prove that. Not only that, there's another layer there where you have to actually review it manually if you're going to punish someone for doing that. And that can be really, they don't have the resources to do that. And that, I think, is the main problem here. It is a good solution to remove the ability to Kobe on hook, but at the same time, since people will just stand in a corner and stop playing, then you need to address how are we going to punish people for refusing to play the game, because that's the core problem. People refusing to play because of whatever 80 billion reasons they find that they're not having a good time. But unless behavior hires 1,000 moderators to review these games that are being reported, of which there's not even any replay system, how are you supposed to do that? Maybe you could see that someone's not moving for a while, the rate at which they get crows or something like that. Maybe there are ways to automate it without a replay system, but even then, sometimes that's easily avoidable because then you can have people that are just moving back and forth, so that doesn't work. Maybe you can see if they haven't touched a gen in a long time, but then maybe there's a legitimate scenario where they can't touch a gen for a long time. The killer's just patrolling a really tight 3-gen and there's just simply nothing they can do about it. You see the problem here. There are too many intricacies to automate that type of process. So what's the other option there? You can let players do this, and if players mass report people doing that over time, you would have to think statistically, what are the odds that this many people are just having a vendetta against this particular person and reporting them? maybe there's some truth to it there. But then you get the issue of like streamers and content creators getting mass reported. Even if you're in a non-mode, they could be stream sniping. And then you'll have content creators randomly getting timed out and banned because they just got mass trolled and mass reported. So if you put that in the hands of the players, that's also a problem. They tinkered with this idea a very, very long time ago of user instated bans from reports and stuff like that. And the entire community was like, fuck that. Do not ever do that. You cannot trust the community to accurately moderate that type of system. So that doesn't really seem to have a good solution either. So how do you fix someone refusing to play the game? I don't think you can. I think what you can do is reward people for playing the game, and I think that's probably the only actual way to do it. And you would probably want to make use of the prop system. Like, under the prop system, you could reinvent the entire system and how it works. You could actually make it so there are multiple categories of props, and one of the categories could be stuck it out till the end or something like that, or, the props of endurance, or you could say the metal of man, even go XDD, actual DBD reference. There are a number of things you can do for a commendation on a player for sticking it out in a scenario where still pretty much a guaranteed loss. And I think over time you could reward those people rather than punishing everybody else, because it's just simply too hard to punish. As soon as you get one person improperly banned for no good reason due to this automated system, the system is considered a failure. It's like the whole thing, if you put an innocent man in jail, it's better to, like, the whole phrase there, you don't want to put an innocent man in jail. That, I think, is the only proper way to do it. You have to reward people for sticking it out and reinforce good behavior instead of punishing bad behavior, because I don't think it's realistically feasible to punish that type of behavior in this game. I can't think of a single real way to do that. I'm curious to hear if you guys have any solutions, because it's at the point now where I'm so bored of Killer. I seriously cannot stand playing Killer anymore. In fact, the only form of this game I can really enjoy is playing Survive with friends with multiple people. I used to just play with Zubat, but even then, that's just getting annoying, because then we'll have a third and fourth person just give up, and it's still 2v1, and you still can't win that. So, as Killer, it seems like 1 in 3 games is a 3v1 from the start. Doesn't matter what you're playing. You could be Perkless Myers, someone's going to DC right at the start, or they're going to just kill themselves on a hook because they didn't like how they got downed, or their Sabble play didn't work, or they didn't hit their flashlight blind, or they didn't get saved under a pallet from a teammate, or any number 8 billion reasons. But it just seems like this is like 1 in 3, 1 in 4 games now, and it's to the point where I'm just bored of Killer, because it seems like I just go into the match and it's never actually a real match anymore, to the point where I'm just doing dumb shit like only Nemesis on Nemesis, like one perk, just like I don't know what to do now to stop people from DCing. People still DC or kill themselves on hook versus Nemesis with no perks too, because it's just Nemesis. They don't like Nemesis. It's just, I don't know what to do anymore. I actually don't know what to do. I've listed my possible solutions here. I'm curious if you guys have any. We could all use the suggestions at this point, because it's just getting ridiculous, and it is truly draining the fun out of the game. I just don't want to play Killer anymore. In fact, all I want to do is 4-man Survive with friends. It's the only way I can still have fun right now. It's just getting ridiculous. On top of that, and then the server issues, every single game, yellow, red, packet loss, ping. It's a very, very obnoxious time to play DBD right now, especially on Killer. So if you got any solutions, please list them in the comments, because, man, I'm at my wit's end here. Thanks for watching.